Before this story begins, take a second. If you believe that sometimes the people closest to us are the ones who surprise us the most, then listen carefully. Because what I'm about to share isn't easy. It changed how I see family, trust, and love. I was 16 when my mom married Daniel. At first, I didn't like him. Not because he was rude. Not because he was cold. But because he was replacing someone who wasn't supposed to be replaced. My real father had left when I was 8. No goodbye. No explanation. Just silence. So when Daniel came into our lives with his calm smile and gentle voice, I kept my distance. But Daniel was patient. He never tried to force a connection. He never said, "Call me Dad." He simply showed up. School meetings. Doctor appointments. My debate competition. Even the small things, like waiting outside when I had dance practice, holding 2 coffees, one for him and one hot chocolate for me. Slowly, without realizing it, I started trusting him. 3 years later, our house felt stable for the first time in my life. Mom was happy. I could see it in her eyes. She laughed more. She sang while cooking. Daniel would tease her, and they would act like teenagers sometimes. It felt safe. Until the night everything changed. It was a Thursday. Mom had gone to visit her sister in another city for the weekend. I stayed home because of exams. Daniel said he'd be working late. Around 9:30 p.m., I realized I had left my math notebook in the car. So I went downstairs quietly. That's when I saw it. Daniel's car was parked outside, but he wasn't alone. A woman was sitting in the passenger seat. They weren't just talking. They were close. Too close. I froze. My heart started pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. I told myself maybe I was misunderstanding. Maybe she was a colleague. Maybe she needed a ride. Then I saw him lean in and kiss her. It wasn't quick. It wasn't accidental. It was intentional. I felt like the ground disappeared beneath me. I ran back upstairs before he could see me. My hands were shaking. My chest felt tight. I kept thinking, not him. Please not him. He's different. For hours I sat on my bed staring at the wall. Should I tell Mom? Should I confront him? What if I was wrong? Around midnight, I heard the front door open. His footsteps were slow. Calm. Normal. Like nothing had happened. That hurt more than anything. The next morning, I avoided him. But Daniel noticed. "Everything okay?" he asked gently. I couldn't look at him. "Fine," I said. But he knew. That evening, he knocked on my bedroom door. "Can we talk?" I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. Instead, I nodded. He sat down across from me. And before I could say anything, he said it. "You saw me last night." It wasn't a question. It was a confession. I felt tears fill my eyes. "How could you?" I whispered. "After everything? After what Dad did to Mom?" He looked ashamed. He didn't deny it. He didn't make excuses. He just said, "I messed up." That word, messed up, felt so small compared to what he'd done. "She doesn't deserve this," I said. "She finally trusts someone again." His eyes were red. I know. There was silence between us. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Then he said something I didn't expect. I was going to tell her. I looked at him sharply. When? After how long? It wasn't supposed to happen like this, he said. It started as emotional support. Work stress. Talking. Then lines blurred. I hated how calm he sounded. You promised her forever, I said. He nodded slowly. I know. For the next 2 days, the house felt like a ticking bomb. Mom came back Sunday evening. She hugged me. She hugged him. She kissed his cheek. I wanted to scream. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. Daniel looked like a man waiting for a sentence. Finally, Monday night, after dinner, he told her. I wasn't supposed to hear it. But I did. Voices raised. Mom crying. A glass breaking. And then the kind of silence that feels permanent. Mom didn't leave that night. But something inside her did. For weeks, the house felt hollow. They started therapy. There were long talks behind closed doors. Some nights Mom slept in the guest room. I stayed out of it. But inside, I was angry. Not just because he cheated. But because he made me believe in him. He made me believe men could stay. One evening, about a month later, Mom knocked on my door. We're working on it, she said quietly. Why? I asked. Why give him another chance? She looked tired, but strong. Because people are more than their worst mistake. I didn't agree. Not then. Months passed. Daniel changed. Not dramatically. Not dramatically in a showy way. But consistently. He went to therapy. He gave Mom full transparency. He stopped working late. He tried rebuilding trust, brick by brick. And he never once blamed anyone else. One night, he knocked on my door again. I know I disappointed you, he said. And I don't expect forgiveness. But I want you to know something. I crossed my arms. I love your mom. And I love you. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life proving that my mistake doesn't define me. I didn't respond. But something in his voice felt real. A year later, they were still together. Not perfect. Not like before. But honest. Stronger in some strange, scarred way. And I realized something unexpected. Infidelity doesn't just break marriages. It breaks children too. It breaks trust in ways that are hard to explain. But sometimes it forces truths that were buried. It forces accountability. It forces growth. Do I fully forgive him? I don't know. But I've seen him fight for my mother in ways most men wouldn't. And I've seen my mother choose strength over pride. That night in the car changed everything. It shattered the illusion. But maybe, just maybe, it saved us from a bigger lie. Because love isn't just about never falling. It's about what you do after you fall. And whether you're brave enough to face the damage you caused.